Hello, Michelle. How are you today?
I'm good, Lindsay. Lindsay, would you say your friends are all pretty similar or are they kind of a mixed bag?
Yeah, my friends are kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. And because you gather friends. Tell me if this is true for you, Michelle. You gather your
Mhm.
friends at different times in your life. Some in high school, some in childhood, some in
Yep.
college, grad school, living in a city, and so you're a different person at different times, right?
Right. Well, do you
Yeah.
have do you have like one bigger group of friends from one period in your life, or would you say it's like, yeah, do you have one larger circle?
No, not really. I have
Yeah.
friends, individual friends collected from different eras of my
Yeah.
life who I keep in touch with. It's rare to have that, I think, throughout your adult life to maintain a group of I wish I did, but it's more like individuals or 2 or 3 people from each era.
Same.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's how it is for me too. I mean, I have my 2 best friends from when I was little, but besides that, it's not really like one
No.
larger
Yeah,
group. It's sprinkled all around. But I think
exactly.
that's kind of neat, and also they live in all different places. Dan has I mean, he has friends from other times too, but he has this really big group of friends. They're all amazing from
Well,
his hometown. So he has that, but it's interesting cuz I don't really have that. I have just more of what you have.
yeah, exactly. I think it's more typical what we have, but I love the question you asked me here because it
Yeah.
so encapsulates what I said, right? A mixed bag. You said, "Are they a mixed
Mhm.
bag?" Well, that's what we're gonna
Mhm.
get into today, right, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a really useful expression, and I was at one party and I had 2 separate friends use this in one
Oh,
day.
on the same day? Oh my
On the
gosh,
same day,
okay.
like, just a few minutes apart, and you should see me, it's so funny, I bet you do this too, then all of a sudden
I do.
I just take a note on my
I
phone.
do.
You
Pretty
do?
soon you're gonna start walking around parties with a little mini notepad. Like,
Yes,
you'll be the
really,
weird person, yeah.
and sometimes I'll say to them, "Oh, you just helped me plan an episode of All Ears English."
Thank you so much. Be sure to listen. Right. I love it.
Yes.
So basically, what we're saying here, guys, is you are getting real English, 100% real English, fresh out of Michelle's social life. I love
Yeah.
it. So good.
Yeah, so, okay, again, the expression is, "It's a mixed bag," or it
Yes.
could be, "That's a mixed bag," or right,
Yes.
in different ways. But, Lindsay, so what do you think? Does this come up in your conversations?
Definitely. I love this expression. So it's a mixed bag, meaning we're going to go into the meeting now, but yeah, a lot of different things are thrown into that bag,
Mhm.
right? Everything is not the same, right? It's not
Mhm.
homogenous. Yeah.
What
Hmm.
do you think of it's a mixed bag of? What do you think in your mind
Well, it just
when
depends
you
on what you're asking about, right? Because you asked me
no,
about my friends. Yeah. Go ahead.
but, like, is there an image you get in your
Yeah.
mind of it's a
Um,
mixed bag or something that
That's funny. Maybe a grab bag. Do you know the idea of the grab bag when we were kids? Sometimes
like,
you go to a
different gifts and
party and
stuff?
like
Yeah.
someone's mom would go around with a bag full of candy or toys and you get to pick from the grab bag. That's kind of what
Yeah.
I think of, just a mix of things. Yeah,
I think
random.
of a mixed bag of nuts.
Okay, mixed nuts. Yes. My
I
friends are
don't
a
know.
bag of mixed nuts. I love
Yeah,
it.
sometimes I just get an image in my head, that goes along with an idiom. I don't know,
Very
I just
healthy. Very
yes,
healthy. I love it.
it's a very interesting thing. Okay, so, yeah, it means not everything is the same, right? There's not just
Yeah.
one way, and it can be used to describe many things, right?
Yeah.
Some for how you feel about something, to people, to opinions.
Hmm.
Um, to me, tell me if you agree with this. I think most of the time I hear this when somebody is talking about their opinion or feeling about something. So, like,
Mm.
for example, a job. I mean, I have
Yeah.
a little role play here, so
Okay. Let's do it.
let's do it. All right.
Yes.
Do you like your new job?
It's a mixed bag. Some days are great, but some are just okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I
Mhm.
think that's probably true about every job, right? I mean, it can't always be amazing, right? There are some things we do at our jobs that we don't love for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Right. So exactly. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
In this context. Or let's Lindsay, maybe you can read
Okay.
this one. Maybe you identify with this.
All right. I'm the dog lady on the show. I
You're
love
the
it.
dog lady.
Some of the dogs we met were really sweet, but some were definitely a bit too rowdy for us. It was a mixed bag. Yeah, and when you go to adopt a dog in a shelter, I think a lot of our listeners have done this. You have a lot of different options, right?
Mhm.
You could have some golden retrievers, pit bulls, all sorts of different breeds. So it's always a mixed bag. What's out there? What's available?
Right, exactly. Or here's another one. Our home search is a mixed bag, but every time we find something we like, it gets snatched up.
What a frustrating feeling. So, when you say our home search is a mixed bag, what exactly are you saying, Michelle?
It means you're finding some houses you like, but also a lot of houses you don't like.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're expressing this frustration. It's like maybe you find a lot of houses, but the ones you actually like don't come
Yeah.
through,
Or even the ones you don't like end up getting sold, right? Sometimes that can
right?
happen too. Oh my gosh, yes. All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and go into more depth about other ways to say this. All right, Michelle, we are back. So, do we have any other examples here?
Yes. So here's one more is their food is mostly good, but it can be kind of a mixed bag depending on the chef that day.
Yeah, and that's not really a great review for a restaurant, right, Michelle? You want
Yeah,
consistent.
they should be consistent.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
Michelle.
this
Go
goes
ahead.
back to sorry, the how we talked about in the beginning about our friends being a mixed bag.
Mhm.
So sometimes it can mean, oh, some good, some bad, but some not so great, right, in this mixed
Mhm.
bag, but sometimes it can just mean kind of a variety, right, Lindsay?
Right, exactly. So when we say that our friends are a mixed bag, we're not saying some are good, some are bad.
Right,
No,
right.
in that case, we're saying they're just different. They're all very unique people. They don't fit the same mold. They don't look the same at all. I mean, for me, that became very obvious at my wedding when it was just my wedding party, very random, friends. They're all very
Mhm,
different, but so
mhm.
dear to me,
Right.
right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, so
Mhm.
let's talk about a couple other ways to say this. What's that first one, Lindsay?
All right. So you could say it varies. And again, this
Mhm,
feels pretty high level to me. So it varies. So some of my coworkers are friendly, while some don't want to talk to me at all. It really varies.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could say it varies, it really varies. So usually when you say it varies, I would say it's it's like a side point, right? You're kind
Uh-huh.
of saying something and then you're saying it varies, right?
Right. So you're saying it's just different. It just depends on the day, depends on the person that you're talking to. Yes. Love that.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And then also, in a similar vein to our main expression today, you could also say it's a mix.
Hmm.
Um, her house is beautiful, but it's a mix. She does need to get a lot worked on,
Okay,
right?
I love it. And by the way, you just gave me another episode idea, Michelle.
Ooh,
Guys, hit the follow button right now in a similar vein. Have
in
we
a
done
s-
that one yet? That is
ooh,
so high level. Ooh.
I'm
Are we
making
talking
a
about
note of it
veins in our
now.
body? What are we talking about here? We're going to come back to it. So everyone listening
Yes,
today, hit that follow button right now to make sure you don't miss that episode. That's a good one. All right.
absolutely. All right, should we do a role play?
Yeah, let's do it. So here you are visiting my new home. Here we
All
go.
right. This is gorgeous. So, how are your neighbors?
I think mostly friendly, but it's a mixed bag. Some seem to want to talk, but others just go about their day and don't really say anything.
Oh, okay. And well, how do you like the area?
Well, I like it. I mean, it varies. Certain aspects, I like certain aspects. I like the coffee shops, but there aren't many good restaurants here.
Oh, okay. So it's a mix.
Yes. That kind of sounds like my neighborhood currently. There's
Oh,
some
really?
coffee shops, but there's not really that much good food in my neighborhood itself.
Oh, interesting.
What about you? Are you better on coffee shops, restaurants? Which one is stronger
In my
in your
area, I would say
world?
I actually would say right now the restaurants. I'm kind of opposite to you. We
Hmm.
could use a few more. There's a lot of Starbucks around here.
Mm.
There's some smaller shops as
Yeah.
well, but not like that we could use more.
Yeah. I mean, Starbucks has its place for sure, but there's nothing better than the local community coffee shop where you walk in and you feel like
Yeah,
people are there
exactly.
gathering groups, talking to each other. It's amazing.
Exactly. And guys, just as a bonus, you could say you have mixed feelings or mixed emotions on something.
Yes. That could be a whole episode in itself for sure,
Exactly.
but that's a good one. I have mixed feelings about X. All right. Cool. So Michelle, let's go through our role play and see what we said. All
Yes.
right.
Okay. So I said, how are your neighbors? And you said, I think mostly friendly, but it's a mixed bag. And then you
Mhm.
elaborate, and some of them don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah, so you're saying this positively. They're mostly friendly, but it's a mixed bag. So some are friendly, some are not friendly, some you don't really know yet, right? Sure.
Hmm.
It's just a mixed
Yeah.
bag. And then I said, I like it. I mean, it varies. I feel like I'm being very positive at first, and then I'm pulling back
A
and I'm
little
saying
bit
something,
more
I'm mitigating
honest.
what I've
Yeah.
said a little bit.
Yes. Yes,
Interesting
exactly. And
strategy.
the way that you use your rhythm and intonation was really on point there, Lindsay. You said, "I like it."
Hmm.
I mean, it varies, right? You have to kind of make this pause, right? So that was good the way you read
Yeah.
it.
And there's something there for sure because in American culture, we tend to want to lead with
Good
positivity,
news. Yeah,
optimism, and
good stuff.
energy, the good news, right? You're not gonna, how are you? You're not gonna say I'm
Yeah.
terrible, right? But then we might tend to add a little more nuance. So for our
Right.
listeners who are interacting with American people in business, for example, listen for that. Just because they
Yeah.
respond, with a huge positive punch at first, there might be a little bit of additional details where you get the truth, right?
Mhm.
Um,
And I think
yeah.
actually that you just gave me an episode idea. I mean,
Oh
because
yeah.
these transitions, like
Yeah.
using "I mean,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And other ways that you can kind of transition to the
Mhm.
truth.
Mhm.
Transition to the truth. Like, "I
Transition to
like
the
it, I
truth.
mean," because it wouldn't have worked out as quite as well if you just said, "I like it, it
No,
varies,"
that wouldn't
right?
make any
You
sense.
needed a
Yeah.
little bridge,
Actually, it
right?
would completely change the meaning if I said that.
Right.
I would say, "I like the fact that it varies." And that's not what I'm saying,
Right.
right? I'm saying, "I like it. I mean, it varies." I'm really changing my mind a little bit or adding the truth a little. So, yeah, we'll come back to that in another
Yeah,
episode.
that's a fun one. Yeah, because there are other ways that you can do that and other than "I
Ooh,
mean." Yeah.
good one, good one. And then
Yes. So
you
then I
said,
said,
Michelle.
"Oh," so I'm understanding what you're saying and I'm kind of just mirroring it. And I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay. So it's a mix."
But it's good what you're doing here. You're reflecting back but you're staying positive in your tone of voice and you're open to learning more, right? Because you're going to come over and
Mhm.
hang out for sure. Love it.
Yeah, of
All
course.
right. All right, Michelle. So we do have results of an important poll that our listeners participated in. From what episode was this poll?
Yeah, so this was from episode 2322. That was "Do You Doom Spend?" Connect over this topic in English. So, guys, if you haven't listened to that one already, definitely head on over there. That was a good one. And the poll question was, how do you usually pay for things? And the options were cash, credit card, debit card, check, or Venmo or Zelle. Lindsay,
Yes.
you want to read the results?
Yeah, well, the top spot went to credit cards, which is not surprising, 47%. Second spot went to cash, which is interesting because we know, I mean, for
Hmm.
me, I haven't been using cash for a while, but I think around the world, it's still pretty common. Obviously, it is
Hmm.
per our listeners, 31%. And then debit card, 16%, and Venmo, Zelle, 2%, and check, 1%. Remember the days when you'd go to the grocery store and you would watch your mom write a check for groceries? Do you
Yes.
ever? Yeah, I do. I
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
remember
I
those
remember
days.
that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore, Michelle, not a thing.
Yeah.
So, credit card is king here. Love it.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Go.
guys, that's a play what Lindsay just said because you
Mhm.
normally the expression is cash is
Is king.
kings.
Yes,
So
you
she
got it.
was making a joke
Yes.
and switching it.
Yes.
So
We
that's
could
why
do
I
an
laughed.
episode on that skill too, Michelle. That'd be a
Yeah.
good one too. Oh my gosh, so many
Oh my
ideas.
gosh.
Michelle, where should we leave our listeners other than having them hit the follow button so they don't miss these ideas, these new episode
Yes,
ideas? Where should we leave?
exactly. So guys, I mean this expression, it's a mixed bag. Something is a mixed bag. It's a really good way. I mean, life is a mixed bag, right? It
Right.
reminds me of Forrest Gump. Life is like a box of chocolates. Guys, if you don't know that reference, you can look it up or watch the
Yeah.
movie Forrest Gump. But anyway, not everything is going to be the same all the time, and this is a way to really describe it and kind of be truthful in your opinions or your feelings about something. So, very, very useful.
Yeah, I think that's it, Michelle. That's the key point. Life is not perfect. Not everything is amazing and perfect all the time. There's variety. There's different people in your life from different eras of your life. So we need this way to add nuance and shades of gray to what we're saying. And this is one of the
Mhm.
ways to do it. I love it for better connection.
Absolutely. Yep. All
Yep.
right. Well, thanks so much for chatting about this with me today. And we'll talk to you next time, guys.
All right. Take care, Michelle. Bye.
Bye.